Let's move on now to President Trump's tariffs, which could be headed to a movie theater near you. Last night, he posted on his Truth social media platform that foreign films would be the latest target on his ongoing trade war. He is directing the Department of Commerce to issue a 100% tariff on all movies produced outside of the U.S. We've got former chairman of Florida's Film and Entertainment Advisory Council, Seth Schachner, with us. Seth, good to see you. Is this feasible? What does this mean, and how is Hollywood reacting today?
Good to see you too, Marina. Well, it sounds a little half-baked at the top level, basically, because I think not sure anyone's totally sure what President Trump was referring to, but it sounds like it's the production side, the actual filming and producing of movies or even television shows overseas. And, to be really honest with you, that's kind of a small part. It's one part of the overall kind of ecosystem, and it's gotten very international, and even some of our biggest titans from Netflix to all the studios, they make some of the movies overseas, but we dominate overseas tremendously. I think every one of the top 50 is an American picture, and a lot of it's, edited over here, pre-produced over here, cast, etc. So not really sure it makes sense, and I think it could, if it's implemented not in the right way, it could really hurt studios and Netflix, so it needs to be thought out for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because to your point, I think the thought is, right, and I don't want to put words, especially not in the president's mouth. I'm sure he would rather himself explain this, but it seems as though, to your point, he wants to make sure that just across the board on everything is American-made, right, including movies. And we have seen after the pandemic the decimation of these movie studios and especially their output more so. So bring it back to the U.S. But again, to your point, I don't know if you have these numbers off the top of your head, but what's the percentage of productions that are U.S. made?
Well, let me, I don't want to answer the question, but I think what he's really talking about is production here, which is bringing back the actual filming and production to the States, to Hollywood, to L.A., to the country. And I think what is at hand is likely a federal incentive, a tax incentive. And actually, that's a good idea. I think most people could actually get on board with that.
Right.
It's usually done at the state level. So, our governor out here in California, Newsom, has been pushing for this. You mentioned at the top of the segment in Florida, I used to chair the Film Entertainment Council for the governor's office there. Mm-hmm. We lost our tax incentives, and this is usually the tool that you use to kind of encourage filmmakers and television producers to come to your state and make shows. If you don't have it, you're going to lose it. I think our incentives have been less competitive, not just at the state level, but internationally. That's why there's a lot in the UK and Europe and, even in Canada. So I think that's probably the biggest tool to think about, and I think actually people encourage that.
Is Hollywood, I know that Hollywood doesn't necessarily stray pro-MAGA, if you will, but how are they reacting to this? Is it all across, no to this, or are they willing to listen like you are?
Well, look, it's just been a day. This isn't, I'm not looking at this politically. I think most people aren't actually out here. I think they're just looking at the implications on the overall business model. I think the real challenge is that there's a big film ecosystem, and this is one part of it, basically. So it could really disrupt it and, mess with costs and budgets and create a lot of chaos. And I think that's kind of the real concern around what it is. If it's really to help production, it actually could be a good thing. All
right, Seth, we'll wait and see if there's some clarification there. Stay with us here on the DFV Zone. We'll be right back.